Hey YouTube, today we're going to watch a couple ranked 1v1s between Daniel and aZapatos. aZapatos has been on the grind and he seems to be in his demon era according to this car. You guys are probably used to seeing him in his regular pink and blue if you've seen aZapatos play before, but he's got a new car design that he's been rocking and it seems like it has brought him to a whole other level. Now I'm sure it's not exactly the car design, but he has been grinding a ton. You know, he is one of the guys that uploads his 1v1 replays onto ball chasing to allow people to see. And he has grinded his way all the way up to top 10. He is top 10 in the world right now. Daniel's somewhere in the teen range. I think he's around 18. And we're going to watch two different matches between these two to see just how it's going. I think aZapatos, you know, after the first round of the Salt Mine, I believe as of today, it is in the playoff stage getting released on YouTube. What a fake from Daniel. So aZapatos has already finished last in his group, something that he did not take lightly and has been working hard to try and come back from, because he actually qualified into the Salt Mine without losing a game. He played through the closed qualifier, didn't drop a game, not a match, not a game in his way to qualifying. So I think he was having some high hopes when it came time to play in the groups and didn't go the way he'd like to. So he's back to the grind and you love to see it. Daniel also is back playing 1v1 ranked. Not somebody that you see playing at a ton, but I've actually seen basically everybody who played in the Salt Mine has been joining back into ranked a bit more, which is nice to see. You know, I think that preps us as we get towards the end of Salt Mine, towards the Salt Mine final, where everyone will truly have been at their peakest of peak forms, and we can see just who's playing the best. Now, this is classic Daniel. So far, 2 goals, both from aerial plays on wall-to-air dribbles. And if he gets on form, it'll be a tough day for aZapatos. Talking about aZapatos and, or talking about classics, aZapatos and his wave dashes. Of course, something he is known for. Daniel's going from the back wall, and he took this just high enough, has the reset, actually faked the touch, or maybe didn't get the touch he wanted. Oh, aZapatos, he had done so much work to get back. I think actually he did have a chance to make a save on that ball, but ended up flipping around it. If you guys have been following the Salt Mine, we've been uploading a little bit less here on this channel just because I think Salt Mine is such an awesome event, and I was even part of it. I was part of it. If you guys go and check out Johnny's videos, I think starting from today, probably by the time this video is up, it's already up, and the next week or so, you'll see that I was actually a part of the final playoff bracket. I commentated with Johnny. You can check out his videos to see me and Johnny commentating together. I know that's something that a lot of people have probably been hoping for, considering many Feer fans are also Johnny fans, so make sure to check that out. And in the meantime, we'll start looking for interesting games to cover over here on this channel, and maybe even find some more show matches, especially as these guys ramp back up, because there'll be a little bit of break until the next stage of the Salt Mine, and I'm sure a lot of these guys will be interested in getting some reps in to try and get a share of that big prize pool. So halfway through this first game we're going to check out, and aZapatos playing from behind, tried to flick, and honestly placed it really well. Daniel immediately forcing him into net. Somehow aZapatos is going to bully Daniel off the ball and get that boot. Oh my goodness, these flicks. I mean, it always is an advantage for aZapatos because I think it's a little bit easier to get those powerful flicks on a plank hitbox, but he is definitely using them to perfection. And you actually saw him go both ways on the flicks, which, you know, maybe just because Moxie is the leader in flicks, it seems special. Maybe, you know, most players actually have pretty equal flicks, although it wouldn't surprise me if everybody favored one direction. But all I'm that to say is just that aZapatos had a couple nice flicks back to back, both using different angles and different roll setups. Clearly, he's got it all. Look at those dashes from Daniel. He catches back up. He's just going to stay on the ball here. Those corners are the easiest place to keep the dashing going. Your kind of momentum pushes you into the wall as you wrap around it. It's easiest to keep the dashes and the most important place to do them, because that turn in the wall will also eat some of your momentum. And that's where the people who have zero boost really get revealed. Daniel, nice challenge. He is controlling this ranked game. 5-2. Minute 20. Such a quiet map in between kickoffs. Standard kickoff for both. A little bit of a surprise considering aZapatos and his wave dash. Strong first touch. Daniel has to use all of his boost just to get back and get the reset. But he does get the reset. and he uses it to slap behind Zapatos. That's the kind of setup that I think in any other context of the game, it's going to be really easy for Zapatos to challenge, but because it's off of a kickoff, where Zapatos is kind of forced to retreat back, he doesn't get the challenge up early, and it allows Daniel to fly all the way back to the ball after the strong first touch and still make an outplay. And, you know, Zapatos uploaded this replay, and it's interesting to think we're seeing all of these West Coast ping disadvantages, because there's a tons of times where he like warps into the ball, especially on kickoffs and stuff. And just so you guys know, that is what Azapatos and the rest of the West Coast players play with. It's not quite as bad, I would say, as the Middle East players who have to play on EU, but it's certainly of note. You know, I am in Arizona, so my West Coast ping isn't quite as bad as Azapatos is, who's in California. So maybe it is worse when you're all the way in California. From Arizona, it's not as bad. I tested out the Middle East to EU ping, and that was certainly another beast entirely. But we talk about the ping. Azapatos is back despite it. He has got 30 seconds to get one. He goes delay wave dash kickoff, and unfortunately it's going to be no possession for him. Daniel is not slowing down. In the final moments where it seems like he just needs to control the ball, he just immediately turns and uses all the boost he got at midfield to try and bring the ball back on target. Azapatos not really threatening in the right location. That near post, a bit too easy to dodge around. Daniel's going to go opposite post, and he just tried to squeeze it through. Nothing special, just beat Azapatos to the position, but he just pinned this ball to the back wall. Azapatos couldn't keep it up. So game one goes to Daniel. He got a big lead, and even though it withered away a little bit, he held on to it. But we got another game between the two. Game number two between the two. We got Daniel in the KC decal. We've got Azapatos in a slightly edited version of his darker self. Not the same setup. Maybe he was just figuring it out. I think this game was played a few days later, so that would maybe explain it. Seemed like trying to catch on to Daniel there maybe at the last second as he fell to the ground. Daniel hook shot, crossbar down and out. This can be so effective. Azapatos, good patience, or maybe too much patience. Ooh. Oh, wait, what? What a save. Oh, my goodness. Azapatos with a camera check, too. It was too much patience. Then it was not enough. And then it just all worked out. He slammed to the post and back down. Oh, my goodness. What a save to start this game. Does need to be a little bit cooler on the goal line with Daniel around, but also not so cool as to let him dunk the ball like he did to start. So obviously great advice coming from me. Daniel leaning back into a reset. He's going to just force it underneath. He likes those air dribbles. Azapatos has had a tough time trying to react defensively to them. You have to try and attack them early usually and stop them really before they get started. Daniel's going to get another one started here, and Azapatos is in just as bad of a position as he would have been if he had gone straight to the back corner boost. Oh, Daniel. That's how he does it to you. That's how he does it to you. That's why those kickoffs are so important, especially, you know, in all of 1v1. But in order to prevent Daniel from getting clean possessions, he's going to go wave dash himself. He's got Azapatos back in net, trying to continue to lob this one high. He didn't quite get crossbar down and in, so Azapatos got to stay grounded, and that made it possible to clear Daniel out. He wants to stay with the play at zero boost, and I'm not even sure he got to pick up any pads yet. He just kind of gave up on it because he never really picked up any pads, never got into a great position, and then before you know it, he's slightly askew and with zero, so he just knows he's finished. So he lets Daniel get the goal. 3-1. Azapatos this time improved patience or correct read here on his own back wall. Waits for Daniel to come in and make a challenge that favors Azapatos, and he's also going to play the long game here on offense. Does he want to go up to meet that one? No, he waits way too long. Daniel, he is always going to beat you in a race, especially if you let him do so with how little boost he had. That was a fake by Azapatos. Tried to fake like he was taking it across the net, but Daniel ends up making connection with the ball anyways. Azapatos demo couldn't control for his flick, but he's going to carry Daniel away. But not enough to regain possession. So Will Daniel try and start this dribble? Has very little upper momentum. What a smooth catch. Oh, aZapatos, great save. It's not really a position that you can shoot out of when you have such a low dribble that is so angled forward. But Daniel found a way. He actually went for a pretty greedy double here. It was going to be the fastest way to get the ball to net without a recovery from aZapatos, but this double's off the back wall. Now aZapatos sees the close shadow. Just trying to flick Daniel into an awkward position. He is one of the players that has such great control of his car. There really is almost no awkward position to put him in. Nice 50 using that plank to its absolute maximum effect. Just literally air rolled it and made it a brick wall as Daniel tried to get the ball through. Big dash kickoff for aZapatos. Within one now. Probably didn't get the height that he wanted to. I think he was forcing or trying to force a double jump out of Daniel. Put that right in the top shelf. Daniel missed his double. aZapatos wasn't going to be able to stop it either. So quick on the dashes is aZapatos to make it back out. To guarantee the recovery from Daniel won't be enough to keep his lead. So 3-3. aZapatos faster due to the dash, but the ball falling on the Daniel side. First shot is intercepted. aZapatos wants to let this come off the ground, but he actually baited Daniel in. It's a great play. He wanted to be allowed to take a bounce, and Daniel really was coming from too far away to affect that. But because he took his time, Daniel took the risk, and importantly, aZapatos played the situation instead of just trying to, start that dribble that he was originally going to go for. Instead, just boom the ball past and now out of position Daniel. Minute left to go. Daniel trying to put this over the top of aZapatos. aZapatos handles it and ends up just giving the ball right back to Daniel on a couple quick touches. I feel like the first touch could have been more back into his corner too to control, but because it was out towards midfield, it seems like he was slightly forced into his second touch. That dash, not enough for aZapatos. Daniel will just tap this one over the top of him now. 30 seconds. Tie game, huge kickoff. And it is a diagonal kickoff. Wave dash for aZapatos. Tries to connect on a bump and did. Oh, he actually flipped past the play. Thought Daniel was going to take the ball towards that wall. aZapatos going to pass to himself with a chip instead of going up the side wall. Now another one of those dashes brings him back to the play. Flick high, just a bit too high. Turning to dive on Daniel. Does not want to let him get any sort of clean possession. Playing a bit of keep away here. Needs to touch it as soft as possible, though, so he doesn't start a dribble for Daniel. Bumps him out of the way, and now he has a 0-second possession. aZapatos, he's going to go air dribble bump. Why not? Daniel gets over the top of it. And I tell you what, it did not look like that was going to be the case. Watching from aZapatos' perspective. So overtime. Another important kickoff. Fairly neutral. aZapatos deciding not to go for any boost and just use his dashing, but now he will finally leave as Daniel puts this just outside his net. Huge dribble for him. Ceiling heights. Drops it down and never finds much of anything. And aZapatos actually going to get a possession of his own. Will we see a dribble from him? No, he wants to cut it to the ground. Daniel looks to close the distance. And it's going to be a freebie. Yeah, nice play from aZapatos. I was actually, going to say that he maybe needs to start taking his dribbles when he gets his opportunities. We've seen him hit, crazy double resets at times, but he gets Daniel to turn and dive, who doesn't want to allow him to play it from the ground. That kind of play where you get up around the sidewall and cut it down. Oftentimes there are moments to steal the ball away. And that's why you see so many players not going for it, because they can't get full control before the challenge. So Daniel sees that and says, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to punish you for doing that. But aZapatos gets a really nice 50. And he does not get punished. So these guys trading games. I think they played a lot more games. These are just the two that we're going to cover today. Seemed like the interesting ones and the two most recent. aZapatos on the grind. I expect to see, aZapatos re-qualifying for Salt Mine, because he's going to have to go through the promotion relegation. Daniel, at this point, it is confirmed that he will be in the next Salt Mine. And if he's grinding even more, who knows what we're going to see from him.